Yeah, what's up, guys? Try back in here bringing another video. This video is going to be talking about Cung Lee signing with the UFC and his first fight being against Vitor Belfort. Cung Lee is kind of one of those fighters who's extremely exciting to watch. I don't know how he'll do against the top competition, but in the middleweight division, it's the type of division where you have Anderson Silva on top, who's a striker, and then you have pretty much Chael Sonnen, Vitor, and the other guys in the division probably are decent fighters, but nothing to write home about. Brian Stan maybe, but other than that, who else really is there? Anyway, Cung Lee will be a nice addition to the UFC's middleweight division. He brings some amazing striking, some unorthodox striking, with all the different Sancho kicks, and they're more like Taekwondo, or they're a lot like Taekwondo kicks, and just trips and some nice throws, and he's got a very unique striking style that a lot of guys, we don't get to see guys throw, many of these types of kicks that he does, and trips and throws and any of it. His hands are kind of like, well, they're kind of average, but his feet are awesome. The way he uses his kicks and everything, like he kind of has like a tall stance. He doesn't really lean down at all. He just stands kind of like tall, and keeps his feet planted for the most part, most of the time. And then he basically, when he brings up the kicks, he kind of, he's sort of like, it looks like he's kind of half throwing power into his kicks, but he's throwing most of the time. He's not. He doesn't throw kicks like Mirko Krokop, or he doesn't throw heavy roundhouse kicks. He does a lot of kicks where he's kind of got his feet. He moves his feet in a way where when he first starts to lift them up, it's not obvious to the fighter that he's going to throw what kind of kick he's going to throw. He brings his foot forward first and then he turns it in. You can't really see because I'm sitting down. I would show you if I had a better camera set up and stuff. But basically, what he does is he kind of brings his foot up first and then he tweaks it and he throws it in a kicks, and he can do that with leg kicks, body shots, head kicks, so high kicks. This guy can throw pretty much any kick there is, pretty much spinning, back kicks, everything. I mean, this guy's just crazy. He's really one of the only guys that we get to see throw these type of Taekwondo kicks that really, nobody else does. Because they're very hard to get good at. Anderson Silva sometimes will throw them, but not very often, just once in a while. You've got to be really, really good at throwing these types of kicks to be able to actually implement them against, really, really high-level mixed martial artists. Anderson Silva can do it, of course. Cung Lee can do it, probably even better than Anderson, or close to it. I can't say better than Anderson. But other than that, there really is nobody else that uses these types of kicks hardly. GSP once in a while will throw one, but it's not like it's meant to knock the guy out. It's not like it's gonna put him down from a body shot like Cung Lee's will. Cung Lee, when he's putting several guys down in mixed martial arts competition with a good spinning back kick to the rib cage or to the liver, to the side, the stomach. He's got some really, really powerful kicks. We got to see that in Vitor Belfort's fight against Anderson. Vitor's hands are great. We've always known that Vitor's hands are just, crazy, and that if he hits you and he lands on you, all of a sudden, boom, you've got hit 50 times and the fight's over and you wake up in the hospital a couple hours later. This guy's hands are just legendary. Everybody knows that. The problem with Vitor has always kind of been he freezes, you know what I mean? And mentally, he's not that strong mentally. He has a tendency to get tired quickly. His endurance, it doesn't seem like it's his body. It just seems like it's his mind. If things aren't going in, his way in the fight, he just kind of quits, or he kind of he loses it. Against Cung Lee, this is going to be a very, very interesting match, a tough match to call, because on one hand, we know that Cung Lee, is an amazing kickboxer, with his background. I mean, his record is undefeated in kickboxing, and his MMA record, he's only lost once to Scott Smith, by sort of like a come from behind thing, and a lot of people, including myself, believe that was really just because Cung Lee was doing a lot of the movie stuff. He wasn't really training all the way through, and he just got tired. It's as simple as that. He just really got tired. Now, this match is really, really hard to call because you have two completely different, styles. We could see something similar to the Anderson Silva against Vitor fight, where Vitor kind of stalls for a bit and Cung Lee lands one of those big kicks on him, either to the body, to the head, wherever. I mean, Cung Lee kicked so hard when he kicked Frank Shamrock, he broke his arm, his forearm, basically in two parts. Kind of split it almost right in half. And when Frank went to block one of the kicks, and ever since that, I'm pretty sure Frank has not fought again, or maybe he fought a couple times against. Was the Shamrock fight with Diaz after or before? I can't remember. But anyway, that was near the end of Frank Shamrock's career, and obviously injuries like that, he had to get pins and a plate put in there. That's not good for your career, man, if you get something like that happening to you. So we know that Cung Lee, kicks like a mule, man. He kicks really hard. So if he lands on Vitor, that's it. Another thing about Vitor, too, is he doesn't have a good chin. He's a very offensive fighter. He's not too much of a defensive fighter. He can put it on guys like nobody else when it's his time. He can just really put it on guys. You saw that against Akiyama. I mean, you've seen it time and time and time again from Vitor. The problem is when he starts to take damage, he doesn't defend well, he doesn't block well, and he doesn't, he's not able to take a lot of really good shots. So, I mean, this match right here between Cung Lee and Vitor is kind of like a toss-up. I mean, you've got two fighters that are insanely, aggressive, and their styles are completely different. One is more like a classic boxer with a more, sort of like normalized, I want to say, boxing stance, for MMA. And then the other, you have Cung Lee, who's completely different from any striker we've seen at all in MMA. Completely different. You don't see Taekwondo strikers really in MMA. And, the way this fight goes down is like flipping a coin. How's it going to go? How's the fight going to go? Is Vitor going to show that Cung Lee's skills maybe aren't quite as good as everybody thinks because he fought in Strikeforce? I mean, on one hand, Cung Lee did get knocked out by Scott Smith, and he's not even close to top 10, in my opinion. And, Frank Shamrock also, in his later years, was lighting Cung Lee up pretty good in that fight. Like, he was lighting him up pretty good. So, what's Vitor going to do? I mean, it's so hard to try to call this fight. This, for me, is a complete do not bet because, who knows what's going to happen, who's going to be the favorite. Vitor will probably be the favorite because of his UFC exposure, because more people know him and he's been in the sport for longer. He's the phenom. He's got amazing hands. I would really like to see Cung Lee win this fight, and I'll tell you why. If Vitor wins this fight again, he'll probably go back and eventually get a rematch against Anderson Silva. And then what are we going to see? We're going to see the same thing as last time. Vitor's going to go up against Anderson, and he'll be doing okay for a few minutes, but then eventually Anderson's going to catch him. And like I said before, when he gets caught, that's it for Vitor. It's over, basically. He's done. And it wasn't. And that kick that he was hit with last time was impressive. It was amazing. But it doesn't have to be a kick. Anderson could land some good shots on him, and Vitor just doesn't have. He doesn't have the ability to take those shots and continue fighting. He just breaks too easily. That's all there is to it. I don't think we're going to see much grappling in this. If we do, it'll be Cung Lee throwing Vitor around, probably throwing him down, kicking him down a few times. Really get to see how good is Cung Lee's striking. Hopefully it's amazing and he knocks out Vitor, and then we get to see him if he beats Vitor, I guarantee you we're going to see him against Anderson. I just guarantee it, because that fight is just so exciting. That would be crazy. Imagine a striker like Cung Lee will give a completely different challenge to Anderson than anybody's been able to do. He's a unique fight for anybody, and he might even be a better striker than Anderson. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say. So either way, hopefully Cung Lee wins this fight, but it's a toss-up. I mean, there's no way I'm even like, this is a prediction video sort of, but what I'm saying is that, there's no way you can say who's going to win. I say whoever gets off first and whoever lands well first is going to win. If Vitor doesn't have his way with Cung Lee in the first round, I got to go with Cung Lee in this fight. But it's tough to say. Because like I said, Frank Shamrock was landing really well against Cung. So, Vitor is way faster than Frank and a much better striker than Frank. So, I don't know. This is a toss-up. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.